So how many times have you heard this? We're gonna have X for dinner tonight. And the first response you get is, yeah, but what are we gonna have with it? Well, today, we're gonna take a look at a campsite recipe that answers that question in spades. We're gonna do an awesome potato recipe that is super simple to make. You do it in a Dutch oven, and it will please everyone that likes potatoes. So stick around as we make crispy smashed potatoes. But before we start showing you the ingredients, let's get the charcoal going. Handy dandy butane insert for the Zippo. All right, so welcome back to Base Camp Patio. What are the ingredients we're gonna use for our crispy smashed potatoes? I told you it was an easy recipe, and it is. So here is the entirety of the ingredients. All right, so what do we use today for our recipe? Very simple. We have a mix of small round potatoes, 2 tablespoons of ghee, which is a very good camping fat to cook in. If you prefer, you could also use olive oil. It doesn't matter, use whatever oil you like. We have an herb blend with garlic. Again, whatever herbs you like on your potatoes, feel free. Salt and pepper, about 3/4 cups of water. We're going to make a foil pouch to start this recipe. So we have our Reynolds wrap, and we're gonna cook it all up today in a shallow 10-inch Lodge Dutch oven. This is a super easy recipe. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make a foil pack for the potatoes. We're gonna pull up the edges, because the first thing you do is you steam these potatoes in a foil pack. Add about 3/4 cups of water to that pack. Bring it together and seal it up tight. And you want to make sure that you get this tight and small enough to go in your Dutch oven. So that is the first part of the recipe. Our coals are ready, and for this cook we're going to do 400 degrees. Again, 400 degrees in the Dutch oven, so roundabout. But that requires 25 briquettes. So if you remember the rule of thumb, take your total number of briquettes required, 1/3 on the bottom, 2/3 on top. Since we have 1 extra, we're gonna put that on top. So this means 8 on the bottom and 17 on the top. So let's get the oven on there. And now what we're going to do is we have got a trivet for the inside of our oven. If you don't have a trivet, don't worry about it. We're just gonna go ahead and throw that in. We're gonna set the foil pack of the potatoes in the water in the oven. Put the lid on, toss the rest of our coals up on the top, and this is just going to cook for about 30 minutes. And really all we're doing is we're steaming those potatoes, so we're gonna go ahead and cook them at this point. And once they are done, we'll come back and do the second part of the recipe. So let's just let these cook away, 400 degrees. We've been going for 45 minutes. We had a lot of wind here, and without the windscreen on, we were losing some heat, so we reloaded the charcoal and went for 45 minutes, and these potatoes are now soft. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna take them out, set the lid aside for a minute, take the potatoes out just long enough for them to cool. We wanna get the packet out. We need to open that up, and we're also gonna take the trivet from the inside of the oven out and put the lid back on. Keep this oven nice and warm. And when those potatoes cool down, we'll be right back. All right, we've got these potatoes opened. They've dried for a little bit, but they're still nice and warm, so we're going to go ahead and start phase 2 of the recipe. So the first thing we need to do is get the lid off this oven. And again, we've kept it hot the whole time. We're gonna go ahead and put our ghee in. We wanna melt that. So let's get that in the oven and melted. And again, if you don't use ghee or butter or prefer to use something else, olive oil works just fine. Might have got a little more than 2 tablespoons, but I'm not gonna complain about that. Now that we've got our ghee melted, we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna drop our potatoes in. We did drain all the excess water out of this. We don't wanna throw a bunch of water in there. There is gonna be some obviously on the potatoes. And now we've got a potato masher. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna smash these potatoes so they're about a 1/2 inch thick. We're just gonna go ahead and smash those down into the, whoa, hey. So make sure you get the potatoes towards the center of the oven when you smash them. If I had some hot gloves, I would just hold this oven, but I don't have them with me. And if you don't have a potato masher, just use the bottom of your handy dandy Stanley coffee cup. That works just as well. Hey Stanley, here's your new marketing campaign. Not only is it a coffee cup, but it's a potato masher. This thing is awesome. There we go. We've got the potatoes mashed. And again, we've just broken them up. We can set this aside, and now we're going to add our herbs. And again, this is just some dried herbs with garlic. About a tablespoon. Salt and pepper. And if you have something else that you like on potatoes, feel free to put whatever you like on. There's nothing magic. Then we're just going to give it a quick stir. Make sure everything's got a good coating of the oil, that everything's broken up, mashed up pretty well. Okay, now that we've got everything good and stirred up, we're going to go ahead and put this oven directly on some coals with the lid off, because we want them to brown at this point. So we're going to fry these potatoes for 15 or 20 minutes. We don't want to put the lid back on because there's enough moisture in them that they won't brown. So we're going to go ahead and stir these, but don't over stir them. Give them time to brown up before you give them a stir. All right, we are 20 minutes in and these things look fantastic. As you can see, they've got a really nice crust, but they're thick enough that they're gonna have that really nice creamy texture when you eat them. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna take this off the coals. Certainly cooking those potatoes in the Dutch oven first and then smashing them and putting them over a hotbed of coals to let them brown up. It's a magic ticket. So anyway, let's get these off and plate them up. Now, is that just not a gorgeous plate of fried potatoes? So this is a super easy method. We're gonna check these out and I know they're gonna be good. So they have that crunch on the outside, that magic creamy interior. These are fantastic. So next time someone asks you, what are we gonna have with that? You tell them, we're gonna have smashed crispy potatoes. So as always, we appreciate you stopping by. If you like the content, please take a moment to hit the subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Give us a thumbs up and share this with anybody you think that might like it. And as always, take care and we'll see you outdoors.